Hello, welcome to the Cannabis Investor channel. My name is Jenna Sobocan, and our guest today is Jeffrey Stevens, CEO of Psyched Wellness. Hey Jeffrey, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic, Jenna. Thanks very much for having me today, and I look forward to telling you about Psyched Wellness.
Of course. Let's get started. Can you give me a quick pitch on the company? If you only had 30 seconds, how would you describe Psyched Wellness?
Yeah, sure. So Psyched Wellness is a publicly traded company focused on the life sciences, specifically functional psychedelic mushrooms, and the mushroom of choice that we have is actually a legal psychedelic mushroom, so quite unique in the space.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for filling us in on the company. What differentiates Psyched Wellness from other competitors, and what benefits does the company have to offer?
Well, when we looked at the whole sort of psychedelic industry as it was beginning, our team recognized a lot of similarities to what was happening in the cannabis 8 to 10 years ago. So we wanted to position ourselves, and we knew it was very important to create a strong team because in the microcap startup world, you're betting as much on the team as you are on the product. So we worked at really building a team, and then we identified a product that we think is very unique and positions us separately from our peer group because we're working with a mushroom called Amanita muscaria, which is actually a legal psychedelic mushroom. I've got a prop here just to show you, but it's the red and white mushroom cap. So, I'm sure your audience will recognize it. It's been popularized by popular culture, and it's used in the Super Mario Brothers game, Alice in Wonderland. So people recognize the mushroom, but they don't know that it's actually a legal psychedelic mushroom.
Right, those are definitely some good points that make you guys stand out. What is the Psyched Wellness business and revenue model? Could you give us a brief breakdown?
Sure, that's a great question and one that we're quite pleased with because we think going the route that we've gone, our first path to market is going in the health and wellness side with an over-the-counter product. So we're currently doing our preclinical studies, so getting all the data and the science to support this because we are the first company that we're aware of to ever bring Amanita muscaria and specifically the compound muscimol to market. But it's a much quicker path, as I mentioned, because it's never been classified as a Scheduled 1 drug. We're able to work with it under the Food and Drug Act as a food. So importing, exporting, and all the research that we do is a lot quicker. So we're about a year away before we'll be in a position to start selling our products over the counter, first as a tincture, then we'll look to go into capsules and creams as well. And then the company will have a second path where we'll be focusing on the pharmaceutical side, and we'll look to do some full clinical studies on muscimol and the benefits it can have for some of those serious mental and physical health issues that our peer group are going after in the psychedelic space as well.
Yeah, that's very helpful information. How do you think the psychedelic market is going to impact people's lives compared to the way cannabis market did?
Well, I think it's a great question because I think there's a lot of similarities to what's happening, but I think at the same time, it sort of happened in the reverse order. So if you look at cannabis, it started by a lot of entrepreneurs, mostly out of Canada, and they were bootstrapping it. They had the vision, they believed that this was beneficial to society, and they believed that laws were going to change to adopt it, and it would destigmatize the sector. Whereas with psychedelics, we're actually starting in the reverse order. We've got some of the biggest money in the capital markets backing psychedelics right out of the gate with Compass Pathways of Peter Thiel, you've got Atai Life with Warren Buffett, and then in Canada, to a smaller degree, we've got MindMed with Kevin O'Leary and Bruce Linton, and then fortunately for us, we were able to attract Terry Booth, the founder of Aurora Cannabis, to join our board. So I think the difference is we're seeing big money, big names get into the space right out of the gate, and I think it's going to have more of a medicinal use as we move forward with it.
Interesting. Thanks for sharing that with me. What is lacking in the public discussion surrounding psychedelics?
Well, I think the peer group has done a great job. It's really about education. It's science first. So everybody has taken the approach that we have to do the proper, preclinical, clinical trials and prove the safety and efficacy of the product. Even though, historically it has been proven to be safe, it's still important to do those proper routes because, again, I think we're leapfrogging and going right into sort of the pharmaceutical path with a lot of these, whereas with cannabis, it wasn't quite the same. So I think, we're going to solve some very serious mental health problems. And I think one of the key things that we're discovering as well is so many of these psychedelic compounds are not addictive. So when you're trying to fix one issue, you're not creating a new problem with an addiction to an opioid afterwards. We know the pharmaceutical industry has been struggling to find a new breakthrough technology or new breakthrough drug for people suffering from serious mental health issues. With COVID right now, people are suffering to a larger extent with anxiety as a result of the isolation and financial impacts from this. So I really think there's an incredibly large opportunity globally for this sector.
Yeah, appreciate you going into greater detail on this topic. Psyched Wellness recently completed the initial data review to determine the clinical path of muscimol. Could you please give us more information on muscimol and what benefits you are expecting to come from this?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I'm really, really proud of this. And I know at the beginning we talked about building a strong team. This scientific committee is being led by a gentleman, one of our board members, Professor David Nutt. He's a professor at Imperial College. He's actually the chair of the scientific advisory board for Compass Pathways. And we're very proud to have him on our board and then again leading us as we move forward with this. He actually studied muscimol about 20 years ago, wrote some papers on it. So when we approached him and said, hey, we're going to take Amanita to market and we want to come up with a over-the-counter solution and then look at some medicinal path as well, he was very keen to work with us. And I think the opportunity that we have is we'll have both, as I said, the health and wellness over-the-counter products that will help people in sort of a calming, relaxing way. And then we're going to look to use muscimol and look at some of these serious mental health issues and even physical health issues that it can help. It works on it works on your GABA-A transmitter, which is one of the more important neurotransmitters in the brain. And we know that it works well for pain and it works well for sleep issues. So we're very excited to move forward with this. And I think, we've got the same or very similar opportunity to what our peer group is doing with other compounds being psilocybin, DMT, LSD, etc.
Yeah, sounds like there's a lot of benefits to look forward to. How can investors get involved and where can they find out more information?
That's, as the CEO, that's my favorite question. We're newly listed on the CSE. Our ticker is PSYC, Psych, and we just uplisted onto the OTCQB in the US, where our ticker is PSYCF, so PSYCF. Also listed in Frankfurt as well, 5U9. And yeah, anyone has any questions, please reach out. I'm always happy to discuss it. Obviously very passionate about it and look forward to introducing it to more and more people as we go along.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Jeffrey, for taking the time to sit down with me for this short interview today. It was nice talking with you here on the Cannabis Investor channel.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Jenna. Thank you very much. And thank you to your audience. And I look forward to staying in touch with you as we progress the company.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks very much.